Okay. Hello, ladies. It is Topic Tuesday. And today we are going to talk about forgiveness, mostly to forgive ourselves. Um, so many of us in this group in particular, we lived our whole lives not realizing we had ADHD, right? And we have spent our lives beating ourselves up because we couldn't get ourselves to do the thing, or because we didn't know out of sight, out of mind was an ADHD issue, and we didn't even know what it was, and we would forget people, our friends, whatever, and it impacted our relationships. We didn't know um, how to gamify things to get ourselves to do things, right? We didn't understand why we were the way we were, and we spent a whole lot of our time beating ourselves up. And then even after our diagnosis, I know for myself, I went through, well, I mean, at first there's that initial feeling of relief, right? Like, oh, thank God, like something that finally explains my entire life. Um, but then I went through a period where I was really angry. I was angry with the medical community for not taking women seriously, period. I was mad at my doctors for not taking me seriously when I was trying to talk to them about these things. I was mad at myself for not advocating more for myself instead of just saying, oh, well, I guess I don't adult well, which is what I sort of ended up coming up with, to say, no, there's something really going on here. And I think, but part of that was that I didn't really understand what was going on there. So, how do I advocate for something if I don't even know what's going on? And really I was really angry at all the potential that I have left on the table all these years because I couldn't get myself to do the thing, right? And I couldn't focus long enough on anything and to really accomplish anything, etc. And I know I'm not the only one that has gone through this. I know so many of you have gone through this too. And there are still times where I look back and I have these cringy things of, oh, if only I'd done this, if only I'd done that. And even though I know that it was because of the ADHD, it's still hard. It's still hard. And I still find myself beating myself up for things that I don't always have control over, right? And I really started to recognize that in myself. And part of embracing your ADHD, which I think is so important, when you can start to embrace your ADHD, you start to work with your ADHD instead of it working against you, right? And when and I think forgiving ourselves for the things from the past that we did not have control over, even if you were diagnosed with it as a kid, like not sometimes it wasn't dealt with. Sometimes there just wasn't enough education out there for you, especially as women, because everything was all about how it impacted boys, right? So we just didn't understand why we were different. And I want to encourage all of you, or if you are in that place of still thinking less of yourself, still berating yourself, um, just because you now know you have ADHD doesn't make it go away. It doesn't suddenly make everything easy. When I was first diagnosed, I really thought I was, it's very naive. I was like, okay, now that I know what this is, I can totally handle this on my own, right? I don't need medication. I don't need a coach. I don't need a therapist. I can do it on my own. I'm going to recognize when I am exhibiting some kind of ADHD behavior and I will just pivot and change, right? And then it didn't happen that way because, of course, it didn't happen that way. Now I understand why I'm doing those things, but I still didn't have tools yet to show me how to get out of living that way, right? Um, I'm always going to have ADHD. I'm always going to have time blindness. I'm always going to have struggle prioritizing. And that's okay because I have learned how to work with most of that at this point. And I still am a work in progress in a lot of things, just like you guys are. And um, But I know that I'm a really good person. And I know that I know you are too. I know you're a good person, and I know all of you really want to succeed in your life. And one of the first things that I think has to happen in order for you to really be able to move forward is to forgive yourself for all the stuff in the past. And I know some of you are going, well, I don't know, I know I didn't have control over those things. I think you'll still be surprised how often that negative voice is telling you otherwise. That negative voice needs to go away. And it doesn't just disappear because now you know you have ADHD. It takes time. Okay. So, anyway, I think I've been all over the board on this one. I'm sorry. Um, I just really want you guys to believe in yourself and to forgive yourself and I want you all to really start embracing all of who you are, and that includes your ADHD, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I have a lot of special gifts because I have ADHD. I have a lot of challenges because of it, but I also have gifts, right? And you all do, and it's just taking the time to really figure out what those are for yourself. Okay, but first, forgive. All right. And let's move forward and forgive yourself moving forward too. You're not going to get everything right just because you know you have it now. Believe me on that one. Just do the best you can with where you are and just keep trying to learn. Okay. All right. So, again, I'm sorry if I've been all over the place. It's just how my brain is today. Anyway, I hope everybody is having a great week. I hope your new year has been off to a great start. And I will see you all next Tuesday. Have a great rest of your week.